everyone, my name is Cynthia and welcome to my channel. Before we begin this video, please go ahead and like it and subscribe for more videos if you like this kind of content, baby and parenting related videos. So this video, I want to talk about raising our babies in 2019. Now, disclaimer, I will put a disclaimer out there because there needs to be, but basically, if you do any of these things that I'm going to talk about, that's great. Do what you feel is best for your child. I am not judging. I am not putting anything you do down. We all parent different. So if you do any of these, that's cool. But basically, a lot has changed in even the last couple of years, but at the most part, a lot has changed in many years since, our parents were raised, we were raised. I remember, I think I was 4, and I remember my booster seat being like this roller coaster ride thing. Yes, that's how I described it. Like, that's how I remember it. Like, basically, I would sit in my booster seat, and I would have to grab the thing and bring it down and lock it in. And that's what kept me in my booster seat, was that little thing right there. I was born in 92, so that was probably in 96. I'm a 90s baby, so. But I do remember those booster seats. And if you've seen booster seats now, they don't have that. They have the seat belts. And definitely a lot has changed with those too, with the laws of, I think in California, your child has to be rear facing for the first 2 years. And everywhere it says, keep your child rear facing for as long as possible. So that definitely wasn't around back in the 90s, and definitely not even in the 80s. And so a lot has changed. A lot of new research has came out, and just things change all the time. So, but with things changing, we're still getting a lot of wives' tales out there going around. Of course, they're handed down from generation. And so that's what I'm talking about. We're meeting the old wives' tales meeting with the new generation, and it's not, it's just so frustrating wanting to do things different, wanting to get with not so much the trends, but wanting to do something different with your child, and then your parents, your grandparents, your mother-in-law, your grandparents, in-laws, like, everyone is telling you, don't do this, done. So it's just hard. But I do want to tell you, or talk about, some of the old wives' tales I've been told. And then that's how we're going to start the conversation with you guys. So I've been told on a couple of occasions, 2 occasions, not to tickle the baby. If you hear playing in the background, that's Adeline. She's in her exerciser. She's having a little fun right now. So hopefully you can hear me over her playing. Yeah, I see you. But anyways, not to tickle the baby because they will develop a stutter. Now, one person told me not to tickle the feet, and another person told me not to tickle the baby in general. There's no scientific proof that it will cause a stutter. Your child will not get a stutter. There have been parents who told me, oh, I tickled my kids, they never developed a stutter, and it's perfectly fine. Yes, I asked. Being a first-time mom, you hear that, and you're like, oh my god, I can't tickle her? She's going to develop a stutter? Oh no. So, yeah. No, there's no scientific proof that's true. So, old wives' tale, I don't know, I keep saying wise. Another one is oatmeal in the bottle. Just, no. I read on the health sites that it can cause them to choke. Not only that, you have to poke a hole in it to actually make the hole bigger for them to actually get it in their mouth. And just, no. Water before 6? No. They can actually die from extra water. I forgot, it's like water toxicity or something. I forgot the actual definition of it, but they can actually die or overdose of too much water. Babies get enough water from their formula or breast milk, and they don't need extra water. There might be certain circumstances which, just ask your daughter. No, don't ask your daughter. Daughter's probably like 5 months, like mine is, or 6 months. But ask your doctor about that. But no, water before 6 months, no. I've been told that I should, no. After 6 months, they do say if you want to give water, that's fine. No more than 2 ounces a day. And they say only with the food that you're giving them, whether it's purees or table food, give them water so it helps the food go down. I have been told to use rum for teething. No. No. They're like, oh, just get a little bit of rum and just rub it on their gums when they're teething. No. I have been told to shave my daughter's head at a year old to help grow it thicker and stronger. No, there is no scientific proof that is true, and they even debunked that myth. Not so much for children, but with adults, but obviously it's the same thing. We all have hair. They said, I remember they used to tell women not to shave their mustache because it will grow thicker and darker, and that is not true. I will admit I have a mustache and I shave it and it does not come back thicker or darker or anything. And yes, I have one because I am Mexican and that tends to happen to us. So but it doesn't come back thicker, and so like why would my daughter's head would, I did Google that one because I was very curious, and there actually is a doctor that says no, it's not true. Feeding baby at 4 months old. There's new research out there now saying that a baby's gut is not fully developed until 6 months of age. So they don't suggest, all the health sites online suggest waiting until 6 months. And even WIC, if you know what WIC is, they even suggest waiting at 6 months old, whether you're doing purees or table food, to wait until 6 months old. So with that, table food or purees, let's talk about baby-led weaning. If you've seen my recent video, my recent vlog, I'm thinking about baby-led weaning, kind of doing a combination right now, but baby-led weaning is basically starting off with table foods, skipping the purees and the oatmeals, and just going straight to table foods. Sounds scary. Believe me, it is. But it's only like maybe 10 to 15 years old, so it's still new and there's not very much research or much information on it. The only research I have found, well, there's a couple, but one of the main ones is baby-led weaning does not add a choking hazard to the baby. So there is no added choking hazard compared to traditional weaning, which is purees. So your child can choke whether they're eating purees or table food. There is no added risk. So that's one of the research they have found. But supposedly it helps them not become obese. Honestly, I think it's the diet, not so much if you start with baby-led weaning. There's just a whole bunch of other stuff that they're kind of speculating on. And on with the choking and the gagging part. I mean, your child can gag on pretty much purees too, not just table food. And my daughter gags on her own saliva. She'll choke on her own saliva. Like randomly she'll be like, and it's just like she has nothing in her mouth and it's just her own saliva, which I do too, so she probably gets that from me. So I mean, there's no added risk, but that's something new that people never heard of. Maybe a handful of people. I've only known one person that's done baby-led weaning, and there's no one else. Actually, no one else has ever heard of it. I've been getting a lot of negative comments from someone about baby-led weaning and my decision to do it. But, you know, I research a lot. I'm not going to do something that I feel is going to harm my child. You know, so, yeah. But that's definitely gaining popularity right now. One thing that is not so new, but is gaining popularity, is breastfeeding. I mean, that's the number one way people fed their babies in like what, the 1600s or even before then, was breastfeeding. But it's gaining a lot of popularity right now. And basically the reason I involved that was because I actually got not so much negative comments, but I've gotten some comments when I wanted to breastfeed, because before I had my daughter, when I was pregnant, I did a lot of research and I was like, yeah, I'm totally gonna breastfeed, it's gonna be awesome. And I was told that I wouldn't be able to do it, I wouldn't make it. Not only that, you know, I've gotten comments, oh, why can't you formula feed like everyone else? Normal people formula feed. You were formula fed. So and so was formula fed. I wasn't knocking down formula. I mean, I use it now. I wasn't knocking it down. I just wanted to breastfeed my daughter, but I got some comments that just hurt. And I think that's what it is with change. People don't like change. So when new things, it's not even new, but things like this, people just don't want to accept it. But breastfeeding is definitely something new that some people might be against it, but some obviously are for it. A couple other things are like Montessori education. If you never heard of it, you should. It's a good thing to look up on YouTube. Interesting stuff. It's basically education through play, but they just kind of put a word on it, and it's I don't know, but that's new, that a lot of people have not heard of. Homeschooling, although has been around for decades, it's gaining popularity, and that can also, you know, that's something new. It's might be different from how you grew up. Obviously, I mean, not obviously, I say that a lot, but I grew up in public education, you know, so I never knew anyone who was homeschooled. So that was definitely new for me. Other things are like not circumcising your sons. I've never known anyone to not circumcise their sons, but it's definitely gaining popularity. Do your research on that. Not vaccinating their children, definitely gaining popularity. I will not go into depth with that one because that is very controversial, and I'd rather not have that on my channel. So research that. And not getting your daughter's ears pierced is actually a thing now. It sounds dumb, but I never thought that was an option to not get your daughter's ears pierced. I thought it was like something you do with your daughters when they're born. But with my experience with it, I didn't want to, and I asked my boyfriend. I was like, hey, is it okay if we don't pierce your ears? And he's like, oh, that's totally fine, I don't care. You know, men. So I was like, oh, great. And I didn't think it was going to be such a big thing, I guess, but I've gotten a lot of comments of people telling me, oh, when are you going to pierce your ears? When are you going to pierce your ears? When are you going to pierce your ears? Like, why aren't you piercing your ears? And it's like, I don't want to. And here's the reason why I don't want to pierce my daughter's ears. Because of my experience. My mom pierced my ears when I was a month old. And the story goes, as what my grandma says, I used to take them out a lot and they would fall out a lot. And so they closed. When I was 5 years old, my mother bribed me, at least the story goes, I don't remember, to get my ears pierced. So obviously I took the money and I was like, yeah. So I got my ears pierced. Through the years, I never really took care of them. I never really cared for them. There was years where I didn't go with earrings or anything like that. As you can tell, I do not have my earrings on. They kind of closed, but I can still shove an earring in there. It'll hurt, but it'll still pierce again. But I don't wear jewelry. I don't like jewelry. It's like too bulky. I have to remember to put it on. I have to remember to take it off. I don't like jewelry, earrings, anything. So with that, I want to let my daughter decide. I don't know if you can hear her talking, but she's over there talking to herself. But I want her to decide when and if she wants earrings. And like a lot of mothers on my group, or multiple groups, say, not my body, not my choice. You know, if she wants to get her ears pierced, then she can get her ears pierced, whether she's 5, 6, 12, 13. I mean, even 3. If she wants to get her ears pierced at 3, then fine. And I was told, oh, well, it's going to hurt. You give it to them when they're little so that it doesn't hurt. And it's like, that makes sense, but people still give vaccines, shots, and those hurt. People retrieve blood, that hurts. I know that's not the same, but you can't stop your kid from not experiencing pain. And my tattoos, I have like a couple, they hurt, but I still got them. So I want her to know, if you want to get a piercing, whether it's your nose, your ears, your eyebrow, and yes, I will kind of let her decide when she wants those, if she does. Circumstances, of course, but if she wants her ears pierced, she's gonna have to learn it's gonna hurt. And she's gonna have to accept that pain. And I know I might sound like a horrible parent, but you can't just hide pain from your child. You just can't. Life is painful, whether it's emotional or physical. Not like beating up or anything, but like piercings and tattoos. So, I don't know. If she wants her ears pierced, she can have it whenever she wants it. So, that's my take on it. But I was surprised I got some like negative things about it. So I asked one of my parenting groups what old wives' tales, it's really hard to say, were they told. And this is their answers. So one person said corn syrup in bottle to help constipation. Yeah, no. No. I don't even know who would suggest that. I don't know. Sometimes, I don't know. Flip your baby in the air if they have their days and nights mixed up. That is definitely an old wives' tale, because how is that logical? I don't know. One lady said, my grandma wanted to get my baby a full comforter set with pillows for her crib. No. If you actually want to get someone a full comforter set, pillows, blankets, bumpers, whatever for the crib, please don't. And if you do, just let them know, hey, wait until they're like 8 months or something. Because all of the research, all of the websites that are baby health say no blankets, no pillows, no stuffed animals, nothing in the crib with baby. Nothing. So, yeah. Another person said Your baby is learning how to manipulate you if you pick him up every time they cry. No, it is actually researched and proven that babies cannot be spoiled or do not manipulate you before the age of 4 months. Babies cry for a reason. There's always a reason for their cry. And they need to be consoled. Sometimes they cry and they just want to be loved. And if you ignore that, you're denying your child love. Now, after 4 months, maybe, I've seen my daughter cry when I leave her room. And then when I come back in the room, she kind of stops crying. So, I don't know, after 4 months. So, okay, baby, I almost done, okay? Mommy, almost done. Give me a little more time. Just a little more time. I know. Okay, but with that, I'm going to end with that, basically, because she's crying. But ending with that, I will say, times have changed. New research is coming out. We are learning and evolving. Yes, there's a baby right here. We are learning and evolving. And just do what you feel is best for your child and for yourself. And don't let the naysayers bring you down. Don't let anyone criticize your parenting. As long as you're not physically harming your child and giving lots of kisses, then you're fine. And stand your ground. If you're really strong and believe you want to do something, whether it's breastfeeding, homeschooling, baby-led weaning, or if you really don't want their ears pierced, stand your ground. Okay? Yes. Stand your ground. I really hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe for more videos like this, more informational videos. I put out videos every Wednesday, so look forward for that. And if you do subscribe, please go ahead and click the notification bell so that you're always notified when I put out a video. And you just never miss out on this cuteness. And this cuteness as well, because you know. So, thank you for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye. Say bye. Bye. No? Okay.